Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome to Jim and Mike Talk Music.
Hey, and I'm Jim.
And I'm Mike. And we got a great show for you here. I was just thinking about, Jim, how we've been doing this for a while. We're providing our listeners with music news, new music, concert reviews, musician interviews, and even interviews of people who interview musicians.
Yes.
Isn't that right? So we've got it all there. You've noticed, listeners, when you look on the sites, you've got things that say episodes, that say interviews. We have got a total of 15 interviews, good quality stuff, real people, you know.
Oh yeah,
Jim. A total of 32 shows.
Wow.
This is our 32nd. Yeah. So it's just great. It's great to get a little bit of feedback from you, the listeners, as well, and that's awesome.
Yeah, and so we're on show number 19. Now we're calling this the summer series because because we don't have one main subject. We're doing some music news, also things that we're listening to. So
a lot of variety in this show.
Yeah.
So what Jim's saying is, as well, is like a lot of times we were focusing, and we will again focus on a certain topic and hit it hard, or have an interview. But this is a real mix of music news and such. Jim, before we get started, there's one question I was thinking of, and I'm hoping we're going to answer at the end.
Okay.
Does anyone know who IRENE CARA is? That's the question. Yeah. So we're gonna work on that, and that's not going to be till the end. Also, as I look around me, Jim has produced a new, pardon the pun, our producer, a new studio. He's moved the studio, and within the same building, but we've got a window, and maybe Jim, you could get a photo of this, a good perspective on the website or something sometime. But
we were in the basement. So now we're
no windows.
Now we're on the third floor.
Yeah,
and a little bit more relaxed, environment.
Speaking of relaxed.
Hey, what are you drinking over there, Mike?
Well, this is something that's relatively new, along with my water. Gotta have cold water.
Let me open mine here.
Here we go. Oh
yeah.
This is Berry Inferno. What do you know about this stuff, Jim?
Yeah, I saw this at the beer store. It's
it's not a beer. It is not beer. No. We are not drinking beer. We wouldn't do that here.
And I'm normally not I've heard of hard seltzer. I really like seltzer itself. I thought I'd try the hard seltzer. And if anyone knows of the TV show Hell's Kitchen, Gordon Ramsay, he put out some hard seltzer. And there's 4 different kinds. The one I'm drinking is a Knicker Twist. And it's, let's see what that is. Whoa, I almost spilled it. Passion fruit, pineapple, and orange.
All right,
what do you got?
I'm drinking Berry Inferno. I don't know why they mix Inferno with berry, but I guess I just got to get hell in there somewhere. What's the other 2 flavors that they have?
I know one's called Mean Green.
Oh, and that's forked. That's forked.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what there's another one that's a key lime. And
I just said that's forked.
Oh, okay.
That's what it's called. Put a fork in it. It's like a key lime pie.
Yeah, and it actually tastes like you're drinking a key lime pie.
Wow.
The first one I tried, I was a little taken back, but then I like it. I like that one. So that's what we're drinking here. So check, your local beer store. Hell's Seltzer, it's called.
Yeah. Another thing that we do, just a little bit of review here, we always have to get either the word Beatles. We have not Beetlejuice. We got to get the word. We have to talk about the Beatles every single time.
We do.
Yeah, and if listeners, if you find that we don't, please let us know. So this time, we've got something special coming up, announcement.
We do?
Yeah. Not about the Beatles, but Liverpool. Yeah, from Liverpool.
Yeah, we're going to start out with some music news. And we have someone who called in, and he's got an event going on, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then we'll play his call. So I want to start out with, I don't know if anyone knows, but there's this huge rock and roll auction going on. And it's by Julian's Auctions. Now, this will take place, by the time you hear this podcast, the auction will be over.
Okay.
But I thought it'd be kind of cool to talk about it anyway.
Well, you will have saved them like $75,000.
Yeah, these are some high-end items. So, it's not your average collector that would be able to even purchase these. And this is from June 11th to the 13th. So it actually starts tomorrow. First of all, there's a guitar that was played by Eddie Van Halen. His brother Alex's drum kit. Memorabilia from Kurt Cobain, the Beatles, Bob Dylan, anybody and everybody.
Yeah, I would love to get a hold of that drum set. That would be awesome. Van Halen's drum set.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The drum set is from the 1980 Van Halen Invasion Tour, World Tour. Spent 5 years on display at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland.
Oh, cool.
And Alex Van Halen said in a statement, "It's the only one like it in the world, and I'm happy that 100% of the selling price will be going to charity via the Frangione Foundation and Mr. Holland's Opus." Mm-hmm. I found some odd items, though. I actually went on the website. If you look up Julian's auctions, so I found some odd items in the auction. And
it already sounded odd. I mean, the drum set and the guitar. But
Elvis's Derringer lighter. So it's in the shape of a gun.
Wow.
And there's a series of sheriff's badges that he's collected. Now, the Derringer lighter, I think people could go in there early to bid. So it's at $1,750 right now. And it's expected to get $2,000. So it's going to go over that. I mean, the auction hasn't even started.
Yeah,
officially.
I can imagine much more than $2,000, yeah.
This is another odd one. Little Richard. Mm-hmm. It's a hand embosser. That like a notary would use.
Okay.
That's just an odd item.
Yeah, I was just picturing Michael Jackson's white glove, to emboss your hand. No, but it's an embosser that you use. It's a handheld embosser.
Yeah, was he a notary?
Yeah. I was looking at it wrong from the start.
And there's a ton of costumes, Little Richard. The one thing that I like is Mick Jagger. He has a chainmail jacket. It's like silver.
Yeah, very cool.
And I like to, wear that out and about, grocery shopping. That would be kind of cool.
Or if it gets older, just wear it to bed.
Yeah, and that one's at $3,500, and it's supposed to get $6,000.
Yeah, that's all low. When you talk about a couple thousand, that's...
Yeah, and there's a lot of Beatles items. There's film cells from the Yellow Submarine, the movie, cartoon. Mm-hmm. There's original posters. There's notes and letters, George Harrison, John Lennon,
wow.
Handwritten notes. Mm-hmm. And some Paul McCartney items, like a guitar that he played.
Mm-hmm. What would Paul McCartney sound like if he said, put away that guitar, I just want to play piano? Like, if he would say those words, I mean, what would he sound like?
Put away that guitar, I just want to play the piano.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. My Paul McCartney's getting worse. I don't know why. We got Bob Dylan stuff and, a whole array. And one last thing is Kurt Cobain is a rare self-portrait caricature. And it's sort of like a stick figure with a guitar that he drew.
Yeah.
And I went on there. It doesn't say this in this article, which actually I got from Spin Magazine, I should mention. Mm-hmm. But it's handwritten next to it, I don't know how to play, and I don't give a hoot. That's what it says. So
a little rated G version there added to the stick figure. Hoot.
So what do you got, Mike?
Yeah, so just, thinking about the podcast, and I'm looking at a insert to the local newspaper here, and it's got a lot of good stuff because it's got a lot of music stuff in it. And there's something on the cover story, and it's a best music podcast for your summer road trips.
Okay.
Or if you're not going on a road trip like me. Notable, I'm gonna look at a couple of the podcasts and describe them, but we've got Questlove, Liz Phair, Bruce Springsteen, Dave Chappelle, all talking about their tunes and such. So first one, I just want to look at 4 different ones. Questlove, he's a drummer, author, movie director now of a movie called Summer of Soul. Comes out July 2nd.
Was he in the Roots?
Yes, Roots.
And he's in the, is it Jimmy Fallon, his band?
Right. That is Questlove, yes. Yeah, and Jimmy Fallon, yeah. I the hair, I thought it was, that's him. Yeah. I wish I had that much hair. So what Questlove says, he says, I am, quote, the black nerd version of NPR. So it's good. It's good, intelligent music, news and things like that. He's got different ones, some interviews, and he's got a 2-parter 2 sections in podcasts with the Prince guitarist Jesse Johnson.
Okay.
I thought that would be good. And then also an interview with political commentator Angela Rye. So yeah, just the black nerd version of NPR there with Questlove. Thought that was pretty cool. Next one is called Midnight Miracle. This is Dave Chappelle, and he's joined by a couple other people. It's a conversational type podcast, not so structured and things like that. I thought it was strange that it was recorded last summer during his summer camp run, outdoor shows in Ohio. So it's a podcast, you can listen to it, but it is from, I guess, last summer during outdoor shows in Ohio.
But is it his stand-up, or is it he recorded a podcast like backstage or something?
I'm not sure about that.
Do you know Dave Chappelle?
Yes. I'm just trying to picture. I think it says here that it's recorded last summer. Okay, yeah. I was just trying to figure out whether it was ongoing and current and stuff. This is recorded around the time of the death of Malik B, a rapper from Philly. So yeah, that's interesting. Dave Chappelle doing something here. Next one is called Digging Deep with Robert Plant.
Oh yeah, I know that one.
Okay, very cool. Yes.
It's very short podcast.
Okay, yeah. The Led Zeppelin Golden God teams up with journalist Matt Everett. Yeah, that's what it says here. Traces the roots and branches of one song per episode.
Yeah. The episodes can be like, maybe they're 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And he was doing them, either he started it last year or the year before, and then it stopped, and I thought he was done. I was disappointed, and then now it started up again. Yeah.
It says it's in their 4th season, so they're going to be going into the 4th season, so 3 behind them. And I think that sounds interesting because it's really short, it's really focused. So you just get in there, get in and out, listening to one. The roots, the beginnings, the meaning of one song.
Yeah, and I think they're all his. It's either Led Zeppelin or maybe his solo songs.
So it could be anything that Plant produced.
I'm not sure if he talks about other people's songs, but I'm pretty sure it's all his.
Yeah, very good. The next one is Jill Scott presents J. Ill, the podcast. That would be Jill with a period between the J and the I. So J. Ill, the podcast. Says here, this Philadelphia star launched this podcast last November. It's not music-centered. It's topical. For instance, one topic was therapy versus self-care versus praying the pain away. And so it does bring music into health and wellness and self-care and all that. Last week's episode considered whether Hollywood has veered too far into the, quote, trauma porn with black historical films like Antebellum and such. So, has Hollywood gone too far?
I don't know too much about her, but I do know the name.
Yeah. Jill Scott. Who was that artist that I just got turned on to? Is she Philly?
I don't know. I don't know too much about her.
Yeah, I might have.
I'm sure what she looks like.
Yeah. Okay. Great voice. I'm just wondering if that's Jill Scott. And I can't remember that. That's interesting. We'll get back to Jill Scott.
It might be Scott Jill.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. Because it is the Philadelphia Star. Yeah, someone turned me on to her not too long ago at work. Yeah, great sound, great voice. Yeah, I didn't put 2 and 2 together there.
Yeah,
J. Ill. Give her a listen. She's got a lot going on there.
So I wanted to talk about. There's a KISS documentary coming out, and you know how I love KISS.
Yes.
Loved KISS since I was, I think, 13, 12. So this is a 2-episode, 4-hour film, and it will feature interviews with Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, Dave Grohl, and more. Now, what's interesting about this is it doesn't mention Ace Frehley or Peter Criss, which is sad. It's a documentary on their career, and I know they had a falling out. I think Ace Frehley, he pretty much patched things up with Paul Stanley, because Paul Stanley's on, I think, his last album. And they're doing, of course, the End of the World tour. You know, people are wondering if Ace or Peter will show up to some of these shows, because supposedly it's going to be their last shows ever, but who knows?
Yeah.
I always remember, and maybe we talked about this before, but The Who, back in the 80s, had their final farewell tour, and of course, they're still performing.
Yeah.
You know, Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey.
I remember Fish did that. They were the jam band Fish, and they were having their farewell tour. Concert tickets prices spiked up to $600 to be like $1,000 now each. and sold, like that. And then, no, they played again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Making money, man.
So this documentary, it's June 27th, June 28th, and it's on A&E, and it's their long-running documentary series biography. It's directed by DJ Viola, and it will chronicle Kiss's 50-year history. 50 years. It's also going to have interviews with Tommy Thayer, current member, and Eric Singer.
Mm-hmm.
They took over for Ace and Peter. And Kiss will perform at the Tribeca Film Festival following the screening of part 1 of their new documentary, which is what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And the screening and performance will take place June 11th. And it says at an undisclosed location.
Ooh, hiding out.
So it's going to be, Tribeca is in New York, so it's going to be somewhere in New York. And then also, I'm actually more excited about this, is that Kiss and Netflix are close to finalizing a deal for a Kiss biopic,
Mm-hmm.
which a biopic is sort of like a mini movie, where they get actors to, reenact. There was one on Motley Crue. It's like you're watching through the lens of what went on.
Yeah, like through the eyes of the people that were there.
Yeah, and it's going to be called Shout It Out Loud, appropriately, named after one of their songs.
It's interesting, too. You talk about 50 years. 50 years, I'm going to mention someone later that's been doing it for 40 years. That means they're like hitting their 70s, because a lot of people, when they start performing, start getting out, they're 20. So, they're getting into their 70s now.
Yeah, I think they are. Mm-hmm. I know Gene Simmons is.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question. What warrants a biopic for a band? Is it how many albums you sell, or how popular you are?
Right.
Now, this is what I can't figure out, is Elvis has never had, he's had, I think, TV movies, but I don't think they're really biopics on, his beginnings, from beginning, like they did with Queen, Elton John.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Elvis has sold, supposedly, 1 billion albums. Billion.
Yeah.
The Beatles, 600 million. There's no Beatles movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we talked to Ivor Davis, he had 300 books on the Beatles, so maybe everybody knows everything about the Beatles.
Yeah. Maybe there's no more unexplored territory.
Yeah. Queen sold 300 million, and they got a movie. Elton John sold 200 million. Kiss, 100 million. And Motley Crue, 100 million. And they both got biopics.
Yeah.
So
I'm wondering how many of our listeners follow Motley Crue.
Yeah, I don't know.
Watching them. If you are a Motley Crue fan, I think you need to contact us and say, hey, I'm the one listener that likes Motley Crue. I'm going to.
Well, there's actually a couple songs, I like, and they're actually going on tour with Def Leppard.
Yeah.
Poison, who I do not like Poison. I don't know. Every Rose Has a Thorn I think it's the worst song ever written. Next to some Bon Jovi. Oh, I mentioned Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, I got to put money in the jar, in the Bon Jovi jar.
The swear jar, the curse jar.
So we had our friend Charles Rosenay call in, and he has a Beatles festival that he's promoting. He's with Liverpool Productions. He's done a lot of Beatles conventions, but you'll hear it from Charles. So we're going to play Charles's call right now.
Hi guys, this is Charles Rosenay from Liverpool Productions, calling you from Connecticut. As some of you guys know, we've been producing Beatles festivals and conventions for a long time, back to the 70s. And I also produced the Magical History Tour to Liverpool and London, which brings fans over from America to the Beatles land. We've been doing that since 1983. For many years, I published Good Day Sunshine, and so hopefully a few of your listeners have heard the name Charles Rosenay before. But I'm really excited to share that we'll be putting on the FAB FOUR Music Festival on July 10th, Saturday, July 10th, in Connecticut, with 10 bands, food trucks, a slew of vendors, memorabilia, record, all that good stuff, and a special guest, Brute Force, Apple recording artist Brute Force, the King of Fa, and it's going to be a great day, a great time, all outdoors, so it's safe and friendly, and all the bands are great. The Hofners, the Black Ties, Britain's Best New Jersey, Mersey Beat Connecticut, really a great lineup of Beatle bands that also will do solo stuff, and maybe even a few 60s and Monkees things thrown in. But if anyone wants information on the FAB FOUR Music Festival that's being organized and hosted by yours truly, Charles Rosenay, please call me. I'll give you the number, actually. It's 203-795-4737. I'll give you all the ways to find out about it. If you go FAB FOUR, the number 4 Music Festival on Facebook, there's a page on it, and event page on it as well. And www.fab4musicfestival.com is the website. It lists all the bands and all the great stuff. It's a full day, 10 bands, one beautiful day in Connecticut. We encourage anyone from anywhere on the Northeast, East Coast to come visit and have a great time with us. Music starts at noon, goes till 8 o'clock. There's even an after party. So thank you for allowing me to share that with your listeners and with your show. And I look forward to coming on and chatting with you guys before too long. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
So thank you, Charles.
Very
Definitely
good.
We'll have to talk to you, because I'm pretty sure he knows anything and everything about the Beatles.
Sounds like Ivor Davis.
Yeah.
If you're into the Beatles, make sure you catch episode where we interview Ivor Davis.
Yes. So I have the last music news story here, and it's a weird one, and maybe you've heard Sinead O'Connor. She has a book that just came out.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah, I like Sinead. We both love Sinead dearly. We care for her.
So I just ordered the book. I think it'll be here in a couple of days. And Mike, you can borrow it.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah.
It's called Rememberings. And this is taken from the book, what I'm going to read, or some of it. So Sinead O'Connor, she was already a world-famous singer with a #1 record. But that didn't stop a man she barely knew from threatening to beat the crap out of her in broad daylight, chasing her around his car early one morning on an LA freeway.
Wow.
Now, who do you think this man could be?
Pete Davidson?
No.
Oh, wrong coast, right?
I don't think he was.
No, he was.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a while ago?
Yeah.
I rememberings. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought this was recently.
No, not recently.
Okay. When she was famous.
Yeah.
Okay, probably a Catholic person.
So
No. Okay.
So the pair had only met once, and for a few moments.
Mm-hmm.
So when Prince called her out of the blue, asking if he could send a car so they could hang out, she said yes. Mm-hmm. So a long black limousine arrived at about 9 p.m. And after a lengthy drive with a driver who did not speak, I don't know, there was a mute,
I guess,
they came to a large, dimly lit house.
Ooh.
She rang the bell for several minutes, but there was no answer. She had no idea where she was, and the driver had left. There's a couple inconsistencies with the story here.
Yeah.
It says the driver had left, but later on in the story you'll find out that the driver is there, and he's sleeping. I don't know.
That's what drivers do. They take a nap because they have nothing to do for 6 hours straight.
So finally the door creaked open, and a man wordlessly motioned her to enter. So she entered through 2 enormous reception rooms with aluminum foil covering the massive windows. This gets scary.
Who has aluminum foil over your windows? But go ahead.
And she asked the man, "What's with that?" Right?
What's up with that?
And he responded, "He don't like light."
Oh.
Meaning Prince.
Yeah.
So she was left alone in the kitchen with a small breakfast bar. And after several minutes, she started peeking in the cabinets when she sensed another presence. You wonder what it sounded like when Prince would enter a room. I think he was kind of stealthy. He was kind of mysterious. Like he'd just be, you turn around and be like right behind you,
Yeah,
like
agree.
you wouldn't
I
see
think
him.
so.
like he wasn't there, and then he was there.
Right. You know? And if you were more than 6'3", you'd see actually over him.
Yeah. Yeah. So soon there's a swoosh sound and a sweet smell from somewhere behind me, she says. Mm-hmm. I turn around and Prince is in the doorway.
Wow. It's phenomenal.
Now she calls him, I think this is what made him mad. She calls him old fluffy cuffs.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that to Prince?
Well, she just says old fluffy cuffs. She doesn't say she called him that. And then she says he seems like he's wearing literally all the makeup ever applied to the face of Boy George.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's thick. Yeah.
So the purple one asked if she wanted a drink. Mm-hmm. And she asked for anything non-alcoholic.
Right.
So he turns his back to reach up in the cupboard for a glass. Then quick as a flash. It's like superhero or something.
Yeah, yeah.
He spins around. Yeah. And slams the glass down so hard in front of me that I didn't know how his hand doesn't go through it. And he says, "Get it yourself."
Get it yourself.
Get it yourself.
I'm trying to take it in. So, yeah, don't drink alcohol in my house or get out. I mean, or I don't know.
And after I read this story, you can decide for yourself if you think this is actually a little embellished or...
Yeah.
But it's also a little sad because says she felt trapped now because Prince's behavior triggered that of abusers from her past.
Right, right. So she was there alone with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's nighttime, right?
And the other guy. That's not...
The driver?
Not talk. No, the guy that answered the door. That wasn't Prince.
Oh, I thought...
But we're going to find out who he is in a minute.
Oh, okay.
So she starts checking for exits, without taking her eyes off him. And she realizes she doesn't know where she is. I don't know how to find the front door. I guess it was a huge house.
Yeah.
I don't know how to find a cab. So Prince paces the breakfast bar. He's not speaking for a while. And he finally screams at her.
I don't like the language you're using in print interviews.
Okay, that was almost like Bob Dylan. Ooh, Bob Dylan was there too. So. Okay, I can't do Prince, obviously.
You're killing me.
Okay. And she says to him, "You mean English?" Oh, I'm sorry about that.
That's a good one.
I'm sorry about that. The Irish was beaten out of us, right?
Oh, yeah. She's... Yeah. Mm.
So Prince responded, he meant that her swearing. And O'Connor told him she didn't work for him and that if he didn't like it, he could go fuck himself.
Oh, quotes.
So this podcast will be explicit.
Yeah, the quotes.
Yeah.
You could have said the British fuck.
Yeah.
You could have said go fuck yourself.
Fuck himself.
Okay. She probably said it the Americanized way. Yeah.
So this really pisses him off.
Yeah.
And probably if she called him fluffy cuffs, I don't know, that would piss me off. Old fluffy cuffs. Oh, well, look, it's old fluffy cuffs. Yeah. So then the other guy comes in. And he has a tray of 2 bowls of soup. Never pictured Prince sitting there eating soup. For some reason.
I love soup.
Yeah. So he ordered this man to serve O'Connor the soup. Mm-hmm. She said she wasn't hungry, and it was in a demeaning and humiliating manner. Mm-hmm. But Sinead finds out that this is Prince's brother, Dwayne, and this is his servant now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. It gets even weirder because
this is my servant.
Prince leaves the room, and then he comes back with 2 pillows, asking if she wanted to have a pillow fight. Right? So she agreed, hoping it would change the tone, right, of her visit. But as soon as he hit her with the pillow, she realized that he's got something in the pillow, stuffed down the end, designed to hurt.
Oh.
And he's not playing at all.
Like a Steely Dan. Wow. Yeah.
So,
I'm going to playfully play a pillow fight with you, and I'm going to put some rocks or lead and
he had a weird sense of humor.
Yeah, it's not really
just a
funny.
Strange man.
Yeah.
So he went back upstairs, and she ran for the front door. And this is what I don't understand. She said the limo was there, but the limo driver was sleeping and she didn't want to wake him. I think at this point, pound on that window, get in that car.
Yeah,
if you want to get out of there.
It's his job. He's getting paid right now.
Yeah.
You know? Wow.
Prince wants her to come back in the house, and she's tried to reason with him about expressing how unsafe she's feeling. And Prince just stares at her for a long time. I can't get over the story.
I wonder if drugs are involved in this story at all. I'm just wondering, you know, pillow fight.
So then she eventually goes out the door and she's, I guess, screaming or something, and wakes up the limo driver. So Prince instructs the driver to leave. He tells the driver to leave, but without her, right? So Prince, he tells her to stay there until he gets his car keys. Like, she's going to get in the car with Prince, right?
Yeah.
So she makes a break for it. She escapes into the darkening woods surrounding his house.
Wow. That's freaky.
And Prince is screaming, "Where the F have you gone?"
Yeah.
Right? So about a half an hour, I guess she was still in the woods, she saw him drive away, and she began walking. So she walks out to the road, the highway, right? And she's hoping that she's going to hitchhike. She's hoping someone picks her up. Well, who pulls up but Prince? He drives alongside me, rolls down the passenger window, and orders me to get in. I tell him he can suck my... right?
Yeah.
He screeches the car to a halt, and he gets out of the car and he starts chasing her around.
Wow, that's bizarre.
I just can't imagine driving by this. I mean, I know it was probably really late at night, so there wasn't many cars.
I know.
But
the shock,
is that Sinead O'Connor?
The shock when you say, like, wow, that man looks like Prince chasing that woman.
So she ends up getting to a house and ringing the bell. It doesn't say what happened after, but obviously she got a ride home. Now her manager wanted to go there and actually kill Prince.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of how that ended.
Or hurt him greatly. Yeah.
So that,
wow. That is
and
some
that
wild
story
stuff.
just came out maybe a month or two ago.
Yeah, I didn't hear about the book. So are you done with the story?
Yeah.
So the book's title?
It's Rememberings.
By Sinead O'Connor.
Yeah.
And it's out just recently. I definitely want to get it.
And it's a pretty affordable price. It's on Amazon for like $20 hardcover. So
yeah.
I don't know how long the book is.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in reading it.
Yeah, and we've been following Sinead O'Connor and all that she's dealt with over the years.
Yeah.
It's quite a bit. I do have one more thing, Jim. But, you know, we don't like to get political on this show. And we stay away from that.
Yeah.
Even more than talking about religion or something. But politics, it's just a no-no. But at the same time, there's some music news from CNN. There was a gathering of people in North Carolina recently. And our former president, who shall remain unnamed, was there.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it could be Lincoln, could be Hayes, but it's our former president who's still alive. He is still alive. CNN, I watched the video and watched it twice, actually. They had found a way to get a list of all of the soundtrack. This is the soundtrack to this. It's a convention of sorts in North Carolina. So this is the music that plays when you're walking in. It plays when you're on break. It plays all the time when people aren't speaking. Yeah. So I have a list here before me. So I'm gonna read. Yeah. And it goes in this order. So first is Bye 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 by NSYNC. Okay. The news, it was very interesting. Look at watching CNN. There's this man and woman on CNN and watching their responses. Just really interesting to the choice. The next one was Memory, and this is sung by the Glamour Cat. It's from the Broadway show Cats. Yes.
Okay.
So this is Memory, and it's sung by the Glamour Cat. My Way by Frank Sinatra. Interesting. A really, really interesting one about the lunatics and such. Brain Damage by Pink Floyd. I'm serious. The lunatic is on the grass. The lunatic is on the grass.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who picked these songs?
Yeah. So that one, I think that one really gets me. Willie Nelson, I believe, Always on My Mind.
Okay.
Yeah. You're always on my mind.
Always on my mind.
Yeah. So Fortunate Son by John Fogerty, which of course was so outrageous that they actually went immediately the next day or so within that day and interviewed John Fogerty for a comment on there.
Okay.
And so, he had comments about the meaning of the song and, and war and such, the draft and stuff like that.
Now, were these cleared with the artists, or were some of them mad?
That's a great question. Yeah. Well, John said, I don't know why he used my song for that convention. Yeah. Okay. So this is all just recent, by the way. This isn't a Republican National Convention or something like that. This is just recent stuff that's happening in June of 2021. Billie Jean. Yeah, I don't know where that comes from or why that's there. In the Air Tonight, you have to have Phil Collins. Yeah, you have to, I was there. I saw what you did. Saw it with my own two eyes. You gotta love Macho Man by the Village People. Nice. I mean, why do you even bring that in? Why do you have that at a political convention? Macho Man.
Half of these are bad.
Yeah, I don't know. And then finally, bringing it all together, Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen was near the end.
Which, I used to like that song, especially around the Wayne's World time. I think it's one of the most overplayed.
Right.
Like Stairway to Heaven, I can do without hearing that ever again.
Yeah. I don't like overplayed songs. It doesn't suit me well.
Yeah.
But interesting, Bohemian Rhapsody. So there it is. That's the list played at our most recent president's convention in North Carolina. There's a set list. If you were wondering, there it is. Comes to us from the people at CNN.
Okay, we got your set list.
Yeah. Got your playlist for your next party. There it is.
So I got something that go with this sort of. It's like what I like to call music and media.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is what I noticed over the last, say, 2-3 weeks. Bob's Burgers. I don't know if you watch that.
Yeah, I do sometimes.
Yeah. So the boy in Bob's Burgers.
Right.
They're walking down the street. There's a woman walking down the street with a bag of mac and cheese. Right? I know.
Okay, well, bag of mac and cheese.
So the kid sees her and he says, I think Bob Dylan wrote a song about that. So he mentions Bob Dylan.
Okay, I'm thinking. Bag of mac and cheese.
Yeah. So that was episode 21, season 11. We watched a show called 911. I heard the B-52's Private Idaho.
Cool.
Yeah, which is a cool song.
Yeah.
And then there's a show we watched called Big Sky. There's a guy they're tracking down that he's a serial killer. And they finally capture him. And he says, will you play a song? He wants the sheriff to play a song and he'll give up some information.
Yeah.
He wants him to play Chances Are by Johnny Mathis.
Okay.
In Big Sky, also, a man answers the phone, and the guy on the other end just says, what is the frequency, Kenneth?
Yeah, what is the frequency, Kenneth?
Yeah. And then Heart Crazy on You is played in that. This is all the same episode.
Wow.
Okay. Wow. We watch a show called Good Girls. Sheena Easton Strut was played.
Yeah.
And then commercials, we got LG appliances.
So now you're switching over to advertising.
Yeah, but that's also media.
Yeah, I know, but advertising.
Yeah, this is advertising.
Yeah, and our listeners, you guys know what this is like. You've got a song and you like it, and then they're using it for ED or some sort of a cholesterol drug or something. Now it's coming up all the time.
Now there's some songs I could care less about, but the songs that I really like, and then I hear them in a commercial. It doesn't bother me if someone else sings the song. It's like when they play the original song. Because then when you put the album on and you hear that song again, you're going to sometimes think of the commercial and it just takes away from the song itself. But We Will Rock You by Queen, which I could care less. That's in the commercial for LG appliances. Harry's, they sell razors. Up Where We Belong, right? Now this goes to movies, right? We just watched The Conjuring. There's a couple of those. The Devil Made Me Do It. Baby, Hold On to Me. Now, this is a horror movie.
Yeah.
Eddie Money. And Call Me, Blondie.
Jim, back to the commercials.
Okay.
The one I can't stand that I have to hit mute because it is so long. The commercial lasts for like a minute and a half or something. It's just a really long commercial. And it's for Ozempic. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, you can say that.
Okay. It's just a drug.
Yeah. We don't get paid.
Yeah. Yeah, what do you take my pay?
Yeah.
So they butcher a song from my childhood. It was on it's magic.
Yeah.
You know, who would believe it's not so? But they do Xantic.
Yeah.
And they go over and over again, Xantic, and it just won't stop. It never stops.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible. I have to cut it off. It's really bad.
That's why I like the DVR. I mean, we rarely watch a show when it's actually on, so we can skip the commercials.
I've got another 3 years because, you know, I need to be about 7 years behind you in technology.
Yeah.
I think with DVR, I've probably passed it already, but I'm thinking about 3 years because I always need to be behind you in technology. You know, remember, Jim, you got when videos were first recorded, you had beta, and then you had VHS, and and I did about 15 years later. You know, so maybe sometime I'll get DVR. Yeah,
you just bought your first CD, I think.
Yeah. No, I've had CDs for a couple of years.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, now we're gonna head on to after this break, we're gonna head on to some more interesting new music and music news.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to talk about some music we've been listening to.
Yeah.
Lately.
Yeah, and if you've heard some of this stuff already, well, good for you. You're onto it already. But if you haven't, check out some things that we've just got turned on to.
Yeah.
Jim, you want to go first?
Sure. I don't know if you know Gary Newman.
Yes.
He's 63. He has a new album out called Intruder. It's his 21st solo album. It's his 23rd album because his first two were a Two-Way Army, which was his band. Yeah. That's going way back. I thought he would have more. I kind of thought he put out an album a year. Maybe he was at one time. Yeah. But this album it's Gary Newman. It's a great sound. I say timeless voice. And his two daughters, Persia, 16, and Raven, are on the album. I came across the video, and it's for the song My Name is Ruin with his daughter Persia. And it's from 2018. Okay. So she was 13, and she's singing with him. And it's great. Industrial sound. And it's on the, it's called the Old Gray Whistle Test, which is, I guess, a concert series.
Okay, yeah. Gary Newman, my first, can I say album? Yeah. I guess it was vinyl. When I got my new headphones. Okay. You know, the large kind that go over your ears like we wear here at the studio. And it was amazing. And so Gary Newman was the first I was listening to with headphones. Yeah.
And we have a friend, Steve, who, that's his favorite artist. Everybody has a favorite artist, but Gary Newman.
When I first saw Steve, I thought it was Gary. I said, wait. Yeah. He looks so young. Yeah. It was Steve. Yeah.
And Gary's hair looks amazing still.
You think it's real?
I don't think so. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. It's funny when you look at the album that In Cars, I think it's called. Yeah. Is on
Cars, just Cars.
Cars, okay. I think it's called The Pleasure Principle.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes.
And you can tell his hair is thin, and he's not bald. Yeah. But he has actually a lot more hair now. What do you got?
Yeah, so I want to start off with just throwing out some names of some people who have new albums and not talk about them, and then get to one specific one there. New albums or recent albums. We have by the Wallflowers. Yeah. Counting Crows. Just coming soon, Spoon, Arcade Fire, The Killers. We can talk about The Killers sometime. I had an intern one time where I was working.
I like them.
Yeah, she just loved The Killers. And what's special about them that no one talks about them? They don't get any airplay. You don't hear about The Killers, but people are like, oh yeah, I know them. Yeah, they're you know.
They got a lot of video play. Okay. They've been around a while. So yeah. Probably going back 10 years or more.
Yeah. What do you know about? Is Red Hot Chili Peppers bringing an album out soon? Do you know anything about that? Were you going to talk about that?
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I just heard something that there's a new album going to be coming out. Yeah, so that's cool.
I did hear, and I'm very excited that U2.
I know them.
Is in the studio. It came out maybe a week or two ago.
Yeah, I think we're still waiting for them to go back and get stripped down and kind of like with One and and song played at your wedding. It just slipped my mind.
Well, originally they were coming out with 3 albums that would all kind of tie together. We got Songs of Experience, Songs of Innocence, and there was going to be a 3rd one. Maybe this is the 3rd one.
Could be.
But when a band claims we're going to put out, I'm pretty sure they said they were going to put them out every year, and then they don't. It's like Cheap Trick made the claim that we're going to put out an album a year,
right?
And it didn't happen.
Yeah. Well, you get a plan, and then it just doesn't always come through. You could be inspired. If as any artist you get inspired and you do something different. Yeah. You're like, no, that's kind of very 2018. Let's put this out.
It's worse when you're famous and then you put out something like that because it's all over the place.
Right.
But if you were just a local band or playing small clubs and you said, I'm going to put out an album a year, they'd forget.
Yeah.
I don't forget.
But I don't forget. KINGFISH. You ever hear of KINGFISH?
No.
So this is a 22-year-old blues guitarist and vocalist.
Okay.
His name is CHRISTONE KINGFISH INGRAM. So probably not his middle name. I'm going to go with a nickname here. But KINGFISH, he plays along with Tom Hambridge, and he's from Clarksville, Mississippi. He won 5 categories in the Blues Music Awards in 2020. Okay, and I don't have them listed here, but it's like 5 categories. So this young man is really playing some great guitar. He appeared in Austin City Limits with Buddy Guy, and toured with Vampire Weekend, I believe, opening up for him, and did a duet with Bootsy Collins.
Nice.
Yeah. His latest single, I think he doesn't have an album out right now. I believe it's a single. So he's got his latest single, and it's called 662. It's the numbers, 662. So look for it. Great guy from Clarksville, Mississippi.
And then I've been listening to, he's an English jazz bass player.
Wow.
Dave Holland. He's been around a long time. He's 74. Now, get this. He's on 140 albums.
Wow.
That he's played on. He's got 24 albums of his own. And he did 12 albums with Miles Davis.
Wow, that's nice.
So this just came out. It's a great jazz album. Like I said, he's been around a long time. And it's great to hear new jazz that sounds old.
Yeah. What's his name again?
Dave Holland.
Dave Holland. Yeah, it'd be great to say, me and Miles Davis, we go way back. We've got a dozen albums I played on. I mean, I just can't imagine saying that. That's awesome. So Bob Mould, I don't know if you remember him. He's not a household name, but back in the 80s, we'd say, oh yeah, Bob Mould, he's cool. He's still doing it after 40 years. He's the guitarist, singer, and songwriter for Husker Du, which I used before I was in the know, Husker Du. Yeah. Husker Du and Sugar. Sugar was the 90s. He had that song in his solo career, See a Little Light, and that was 1989. And just listened to that again and said, oh yeah. So he's touring. He's coming to Philly September 9th.
David Lee Roth.
I heard of him.
Has a new song, not a new album.
Yeah.
And it's not that great. I don't know why I should mention it, but it's called.
Let us know, Jim.
It's an odd song. It's called Giddy Up. But I have it written down here that I can't exactly put my finger on it, but it makes me want to hate music.
Ah.
I don't know. It's that, I just don't like it.
Yeah.
And it's that David Lee Roth kind of goofy kind of.
Yeah, he has a certain attitude, doesn't he?
Yeah. And then lately I've been listening to Pat Benatar. Of course, she doesn't have anything out, but I really think she's got one of the greatest rock and roll voices ever. And also the Grease soundtrack I was listening to the other day. So this is what I've been listening to.
I want to live forever.
And I
want to learn how to fly.
That's not on Grease.
Oh, okay. Must be something else.
Yeah. So I got one more, but Mike, you can go.
Yeah. Just got turned on to the music of Brigitte DEMEYER so recently that I don't even know if I'm saying her name correctly. It's DEMEYER, like Oscar. With a D in front of it. Yeah, DEMEYER. Brigitte without the D. So it's Brigitte DEMEYER. So the single recently called Salt of the Earth. The most recent album is called Seeker. So her album's called Seeker. Salt of the Earth also features Chris Wood, and his brother Oliver Wood from the Wood Brothers, and someone else that I don't know, and that is Alfreda McCrary. But great song. I listened to it coming from out of state here to the studio to meet with you, Jim, and it just really sounds good. Now, that song is written by Brigitte and Jano Ricks. Jano Ricks is the third member that makes up the Wood Brothers.
Okay.
So we got a Wood Brothers theme here just with that song.
So is this just a song?
So this is the song called Salt of the Earth, but her album Seeker, it's listed as Americana. And this is something I want to talk about on the next podcast. I want to talk about musical styles because, you know, we've got the Wood Brothers classified as country, okay? And when I hear them and I saw them live, it's very much Americana. It's just just Americana. It's like singer-songwriter. You know, it's not country, and they're labeled country. They're labeled country, you know. And so here, Brigitte DeMeyer, listed as Americana, really has a country feel. I see her as Bonnie Raitt meets Edie Brickell.
Okay. Interesting.
So it's that Bonnie Raitt. You got your little bit of slide guitar in there. You got some good solid guitar, some keyboard. So it sounds like maybe a couple of the songs sounds like kind of Delta blues. You know, you have this blues feel with that nice. You know, you get those spaces, those empty spaces where you can hear the bass. You know, you know, and then the keyboards are playing. So it's got a little country and a little blues feel. So I think you know, I know you have a penchant for the female singers, Jim. So check out Brigitte DeMeyer, and the 2021 album is called Seeker. I just mentioned that Oliver Wood sang on Brigitte DeMeyer's recent single. He also has something new out, and it's called Always Smiling, and that is his debut solo album, and it's released July 9. Look for that. That is listed as country, but like I said, I really feel it has it's Americana. I know we're splitting hairs, but you know, for it to be country, he's a little too odd, a little too quirky, weirdy for country. Okay. I mean, you can't call that country, you know. So so look for Oliver Wood's first solo from the Wood Brothers, and it's called Always Smiling.
So this album surprised me because I listened to it, and I listened to it more and more, and I really like it. And you know how I like the pop, like the Halseys. And I like. Did we mention
that Halsey's from this town where the studio is?
Yeah, Halsey's from Washington, New Jersey.
Okay, she spent time here.
Yeah,
wasn't born
here. She
here.
Actually went to high school and graduated from the same
Warren
high
Hills
school
or something,
my son goes to.
Yeah,
actually, he's graduating in a couple of days.
So this is for all you Halsey fans out there. I know you're out there. This is where Jim.
Well,
and
the only
Talk
similarity
Studios.
is it's pop. It's popular music. But it seems to be the most popular album right now.
And what is that?
And I'm just amazed. This girl, she recorded this album when she was 17. She's 18 now. She was on a Disney show called Biz Aardvark. And I only know that because my son watched that show.
That is the strangest
name. And believe it
ever.
or not, it's Olivia Rodrigo. Okay.
I've heard that name before.
She was born in Temecula, if I'm saying it, California. She's Filipino and American. But what amazes me is that she was on SNL on May 15th, right? Her album wasn't released till May 21st. This is her first album. How do you get on SNL
before your first album?
Yeah. I know she probably put out a couple songs, and originally she was going to put out an EP, but then had more in her to write more and put out a full album.
I think that's why I heard her name. I saw the ad for SNL and saw her name there. I just heard the name before. Somewhere.
Well, sometimes I don't watch the musical act,
especially when you don't know
it's a certain type of music that I don't like. But I did watch her. She has a really great voice.
Yeah.
And of course, she wrote this when she was 17. So it's a lot of it's stuff that, you know, a person of my age wouldn't relate to, but I don't know. There's something about this album.
Yeah.
And originally I'm going through each song, and I was actually going to kind of make fun of each song. But
Oh, you're so mean.
I'm gonna tell you with one sentence each song. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So album review with
and you
one
can
sentence.
and you can listen to it, and I'm sure you'll fall in love with the album, even though it's geared more towards teen problems. We have Brutal. It's tough to be 17.
Oh, it is.
She can't even parallel park. Okay. So.
It's what my 80-year-old mother said today. She said it to me this morning, I swear.
Yeah.
I can't do this. I can't parallel park. Yeah, go ahead.
So most of these songs are about breaking up with a guy, and I'm wondering if it's the same guy. I don't know. Traitor, it only took 2 weeks for her ex to find a new girl. Okay. It's very sad.
Yeah, it's a decent amount of time.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Driver's license. Her ex said forever, and now she drives past his house wondering if he's with that blonde girl. There is a girl that it's supposed to be about, and she, I think, is another Disney star. Her boyfriend actually, in real life, broke up with her and started going out with this girl.
Probably just to produce more songwriting material, because it's what's it say about blues here behind me, Jim? Where is it?
What? Oh, there ain't anyone that don't have some kind of blues.
That's right, y'all. That's right, y'all.
Buddy Guy said that.
Okay.
So then we have 1 step forward, 3 steps back. She's the love of her boyfriend's life until she makes him mad. And this was actually co-written by Taylor Swift.
Okay.
So Taylor Swift, we know, writes songs about her exes all the time. Yeah. Deja Vu, her ex is doing the same things with his new girlfriend. What's great is that she actually mentions Billy Joel. Yeah. Is he playing the piano? Does he know that she was the one who taught him Billy Joel? Right? Okay, good for you. Her boyfriend just bought a new car, and his career is really taking off. And it's like they never even happened. What the fuck up? What the fuck is up with that? Yeah. So her using the F word too. There's a lot of comments on, because she's 18, but
now she can swear. Yeah. Okay, I got it.
Now, these are lyrics, and I remember when you hear a song, back in the day, and you thought you heard something else, unless you had the lyrics in front of you. So I thought she was saying, "Good for you. I hope you're happy in hell," which would be great, right?
Right.
But she's saying, "Good for you. I hope you're happy and healthy."
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. No way.
Yeah. So I
hope you're happy and healthy.
I'm still gonna think.
Good for you. I hope you're happy and healthy.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
it doesn't have the same punch.
Yeah.
So now, the next song, Enough for You. She knew how her ex took his coffee and his favorite songs by heart. Then he found someone more exciting. So I'm thinking this is an older man, because I don't know many 17, 18-year-olds that drink coffee. So, this could be an older guy.
Yeah, it could be.
And then Happier. She broke up. See, these are all the same theme.
Yeah.
They all sound different. They are the same song. Yeah. She broke up with her boyfriend a month ago. Now she hopes he's happy, but not happier with his new girl.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just hope he's happy and healthy.
Yeah.
That's what I wish
not
for him.
Not in hell. So then Jealousy. Now this one's a little bit different, because she's jealous of other girls with paper white teeth.
Oh, yeah.
And
don't judge a person by their teeth.
Yeah.
It's not a figure of speech. Yeah.
And she was so mad she threw the phone across the room. Okay. Favorite crime. When the sirens sound, she wonders if he's around, but she'll do it all over again. Or maybe they were committing crimes. I don't know.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. And then Hope You're Okay. And this is a little different, because it's about some troubled friends from school she hasn't seen in a while, and she's wondering if they're doing okay. My favorite song is Good for You. It's actually a great rockin' song. The guy that plays guitar in her band, he produced the album, and he's produced other bands. And then we have Charlie Gunn, and I don't know what this is, of the 45. I don't know if it's a website,
45
magazine.
Yeah, I don't know.
He said it's the greatest coming-of-age album since early
Tiffany? Are you going to say Tiffany? Are you going to say Tiffany?
No.
Okay.
So he called it the greatest coming-of-age album since early Taylor Swift or Lorde. I don't know if you know.
Or Tiffany. Yeah. I remember her. Yeah.
And then Robin Murray of Clash, not the band, said that Rodrigo is regarded as one of Gen Z's finest artists. Mm-hmm. Now, this album's called, by the way, it's called Sour. I
can see that. I can definitely see it going sour.
But it's amazing what this album is doing. And I really think she has a great potential to like, I'd like to see what she does as she gets older.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
It broke the all-time UK record for the most weekly streams for a debut album.
Wow.
The album received 45.7 million streams in its opening week.
Wow.
And it was also the most pre-added album, which means when an album's release date comes out, you can pre-add it to Apple Music. Mm-hmm. She dethroned Billie Eilish.
Oh,
Billie Eilish's album.
Yeah, the blonde Billie Eilish.
Yeah. Check out Olivia Rodrigo's Sour. I know it might not be your cup of music, but
or tea or beer or wine.
But I'm telling you, I went in. I only knew a couple songs from SNL. I'm like, I'll check it out, and there's some good rockin' songs on there. I'm like, the band is. She's got a band, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like when she performed on SNL, she had a full band, and they weren't. She wasn't lip syncing. I truly believe they were playing the instruments. They weren't like just not plugged in, and just playing to a backing track. So
nobody would ever lip sync and make it big ever, right? Like that couldn't happen. I mean,
I don't know. I think there was a band.
There was one.
Yeah.
You know what? We should do a podcast about a duo who lip syncs and fools the world for years.
Yeah, and has to give back their Grammy.
Yeah, that could happen.
Yeah.
There is an answer to that, and you go to podcast 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Top 10. We're ready for the top 10. This is the top 10 of 1983.
Okay, now we're going to do the top 10, and this is the week ending June 25th, 1983. The reason 1983 is because of the podcast we put out a couple weeks ago, which was another great interview with Mick Conroy from the 80s new wave band Modern English.
That's right. Now,
they aren't on this list, unfortunately, but we picked 83 because that's when their song I Melt With You came out. So I'm going to start off the top 10.
Yeah. Jim's doing 10 through 6, and I'm hitting 5 through number 1.
Now, number 10, we have the song Too Shy by Kajagoogoo. Kajagoogoo. I never really liked this song.
Yeah.
It's got a droning keyboard. There's drums with some funky guitar. I really didn't like the song when it came out.
Lyrics don't make sense.
And I have written down here, it sounds like a rejected Culture Club song.
Yeah. What does Too Shy to Shy mean? I mean,
What does moving in circles won't you dilate? Baby, try. I mean, we just throw in words in
little
here.
OB stuff.
Duran Duran used to do that with their songs. They throw in just...
Yeah.
Like they had a word generator and they made a song.
Yeah.
Now, believe it or not, this song was written by Kajagoogoo and produced by Duran Duran keyboardist Nick Rhodes.
Okay, I can see that.
Okay. Also, Colin Thurston, who later produced Duran Duran's first 2 albums. Okay. Now it's ranked at number 27 on VH1's 100 Greatest Songs of the 80s.
Unbelievable.
And number 9 on VH1's 100 Greatest One-Hit Wonders of the 80s.
Kajagoogoo.
Yeah. So next we have number 9, which is Affair of the Heart by Rick Springfield.
Rick.
Now, I like Rick Springfield.
I know why.
Jesse's Girl, I don't know. I still love that song. Yeah. Now, I don't know this song too much.
For the younger crowd, Rick came from
General Hospital.
Soap opera, acting.
Yeah, I think it was General Hospital.
Yeah.
Now, this has a soaring guitars and a beat like a great 80s movie soundtrack, I think. Now, the chorus reminds me of Olivia Newton-John, Let's Get Physical, for some reason. And I don't really remember this song. Now, this song was nominated for a Grammy Award.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, for Best Male Rock Vocal Performance in 1984, but it lost out to Beat It by Michael Jackson. Beat it. Get off my lawn. So now we have number 8, Never Gonna Let You Go by Sergio Mendes. Now, this is not to be confused with Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley.
Yeah. It's very close. Yeah.
Now, I really think someone didn't tell him that this was the 80s, because it sounds to me like a 70s ballad. Now, the songwriters, Cynthia Well and her husband Barry Mann, they've written other songs like Paul Revere, Kicks, The Monkees, Shades of Grey, Here You Come Again, Dolly Parton.
Wow.
These are the same writers.
Yeah.
And the big one, You've Lost That Lovin' Feelin' by the Righteous Brothers. These are the same people that wrote this song.
Which is why it got all the way up there to number 8 that week.
Now, number 7 is Don't Let It End by Styx. Now, I still love Styx. I had a lot of Styx albums back in the 70s, 80s. We got Dennis DeYoung on vocals. He seems to sing the ballads for Styx. Now, the first minute is just keyboards. And then it has a build-up with drums, guitar. Yeah. And it's a sappy love song, but it's not as good as Babe. Yeah. If you remember Babe.
Yeah.
Babe, I'm leaving.
Yeah, that was tops there, Ed. Yeah. Which was a little earlier. A few years earlier was Babe.
Then number 6, we have Family Man by Daryl Hall and John Oates.
Hauling Oates. Hauling Oates.
Hauling Oates.
What are you hauling there, farmer? Hauling Oates.
Pulling nuts. So I always like this song. Now, it is about a married man. He's tempted by a beautiful woman who wants to sleep with him. And is it possibly a prostitute? Who knows?
I don't know.
He says, leave me alone, I'm a family man. She must be following him around. Yeah. He's trying to, get home, find his car in the parking lot. Who knows? But she's following him around.
Could be the secretary at work. You never know. Now,
this is actually a cover song, which I didn't know. I always thought Hall & Oates wrote all their songs. And it's an original. The original has a female vocalist, and she's a Scottish singer by the name of Maggie Riley. And there's some odd sounds in this song. I played it for Mike tonight. There's a sound like dripping water, which if you were in a studio or the recording studio and there you go. I think you would take, you listen back to it and be like, okay, that has to go. But they left it in. Now, the other thing, this was written by Mike Oldfield, and he had great success with this album, Tubular Bells, where he played over 20 instruments on that album.
Yeah, if you haven't heard Tubular Bells, just side note, you've got to research that and hear Tubular Bells. You've got to know about that.
If you don't know the song if you don't know the song by the name, it was the opening used in The Exorcist. It's if you know The Exorcist and you know that music, it's the same person that wrote Family Man. Now, I noticed there's some altered lyrics. In the original, it just repeats the same chorus. And at the end, he said, leave me alone, I'm a family man. But Hall & Oates, they add, leave me alone, I'm a family man, and I don't think I want it tonight. And he said, don't leave me alone, because I got to go home, which really doesn't make sense. But it's implied that maybe he did go.
He just put 2 more letters in there. He just made the word don't. Like leave me alone and don't leave me alone. Number 5 on the top 10, the top pop 10, 1983. Let's Dance by David Bowie. I think this is the coolest. This is the best song on this whole list. You ever been working out of your league?
Huh?
So I was double dating one time back in 1983, and yeah, I was out of my league. And so she was way out of my league. But we went down to Scarlett O'Hara's down there in downtown Bethlehem. I just drove by it today, Broad Market. Yeah, so it was a little awkward. But then David Bowie, Let's Dance came on.
Okay.
And that got her off the chair, and we were dancing. And it was a good time. Yeah. And ended out at the Rock. Anybody local knows the Rock, and that's all I got to say. But great tune. It's so powerful. I mean, the song it's what I call fully produced. Yeah. Boom, but just full and rich.
Do you know who it's produced by?
No.
Nile Rodgers.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he was in Chic. The Freak Says Chic.
Yeah, the Freak.
Like
the Chic.
So, do you also know that at the end of the song, there's a guitar solo?
Yeah.
And it's Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Oh, that is so cool. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Now,
no wonder I like it so much.
Also, this song, according to Nile Rodgers, this song started out as a folk song. I don't understand.
It'd be a little different beat. Let's dance. That's a square dance. Yeah, maybe they just changed that a little bit.
Well, Bowie had a demo, and Niles went over, I guess, to his house, and he played it for him, and it was a totally different song. I'd like to hear that.
Yeah,
song,
that would version. Be cool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look that up later. So you also have a special. I thought you had a special story about Bowie.
Yeah,
didn't know if you wanted to share that.
This is one of my favorite, if not the favorite, Bowie album. I was in the hospital, so I was going to be there for a couple of days. My parents asked me if I wanted anything, and I had, for some reason, I had my cassette player with me, and I asked for, this had just come out, and I asked for David Bowie, Let's Dance.
Yeah. And your parents obliged. Your parents were that good to you.
Yeah, and they only set foot in like a record store for me, like Christmas. One Christmas I got Bruce Springsteen, The River. Double vinyl. Yeah, so they'd have to go up to the counter and
so embarrassing, like Echo and the Bunnymen or something. Yeah,
they probably asked for David Bowie.
Bowie, Need some other Davy Jones. Yeah, so that's so.
Cheer up, Sleepy Jim.
So I think we had a different weekend that. So number 4, moving on. Number 4, Every Breath You Take. We have the Police, lead singer Sting, of course. This is the most overplayed Police song, overplayed Sting song. This song reminds me of another girlfriend. She pretty much, the last thing she said is, every breath you take, I'll be watching you, after you broke up. And that's all I remember. But this is, if you're gonna evaluate the Police or you're gonna evaluate Sting, this is not the song to go by. Jim, what do you think of this song?
Well, it's funny you should say it was overplayed.
It is, continues to be.
Because in May 2019, now we're only talking 2 years ago.
2 years ago,
it was recognized by BMI as being the most played song in radio history.
Wow.
It had nearly 15 million radio plays.
I'm going to write that down. 15 million.
Yeah, and Sting received an award to mark it being the most performed song in BMI's catalog.
We have both been following Sting in his career, and when he accepted that, he was trying not to roll his eyes. You know what I'm saying? He's like, thank you. And then, because he's done such great music since Every Breath You Take.
Now, can you guess the song that it overthrew as being most played? It's not Stairway to Heaven, do you think?
Oh, wow. Can I guess the song?
I think I just mentioned the song.
The song that was heavily played. No, I can't guess.
You've Lost That Lovin' Feeling.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it had more time, a little more time to fill in there.
Yeah.
Number 3, I seem to have, like some sort of personal story. We've got a friend, mutual friend, Keith. So shout out to Keith if you're listening there in PA. Electric Avenue. He loved this song. He would dance the robot before the robot was invented.
Yeah.
That's because he danced like a robot. But he would dance to Electric Avenue and stuff. And I have visions of Keith.
I don't remember him dancing.
Yeah. Eddie Grant. This is by Eddie Grant. Number 3. Full synthesizers, full reverb on the deep voice. Just talking, I don't really know even what the song's about. It's great party music.
Well, I'm glad you asked me.
Yeah, so Jim, would you have any idea what this song is about?
Yeah, at the beginning of the 80s, tensions over unemployment, racism, poverty, exacerbated by racist policing, culminated in the street events now known as the 1981 Brixton Riot.
Yeah, it sounds like 18 years later.
Yeah, so Eddie Grant left the UK shortly after the riots to live in Barbados.
Oh, okay.
His most recent batch of songs that he had been writing had been lost in baggage transit.
Wow.
And Electric Avenue was one of the songs he wrote immediately afterwards to make up for his lost material.
Wow.
So he had this idea in his head. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that made up for it, because that was a big hit.
Yeah, yeah. Coming in at number 2 is, you ready for it?
Yeah.
Time. Because time won't give me time.
I don't think that's how it was sang.
Yeah. Anyway, a little twang the time. This is Boy George with the Culture Club singing Time.
Time won't let me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think that was the one. This is Time Won't Give Me Time. Time knows that lovers heal, and time. So, if you love Boy George, you heard this song and then you went on to others. Yeah, Jim, what do you know about this song?
Not so much the song, but the video. There's 2 versions of the video.
Oh, I remember one.
In one version, there's a Christmas tree shown, and in the other, the tree is removed. This was because of the release of the song in certain markets. European countries in the regular version, the song was released in the spring of 1983, so they had to remove the Christmas tree.
Wow.
Time sensitive, MTV.
Yeah.
Videos in rotation all the time.
Do you said time like 5 times in that sentence. I just said it one more time, which makes it 7. But our friend Keith, it wouldn't make any difference. He kept his Christmas tree up there on 17th Street. He wanted to see how long he could go. He went somewhere into March or April.
I'm sure some people.
Yeah, it was a fire hazard because it's a real tree, of course, with the real lead tinsel on it.
Probably a big cockroach.
Let me tell you about a roach. Another one that would get the girls out on the dance floor. Time, and it's fascinating. Boy George, years ahead of his time. I didn't mean to say. I did not intend to say the word time again. Years ahead of where the culture was at, and
like Culture Club. There you go.
Said it again.
They're saying culture.
Okay, I'm gonna have to move on. Number one for the pop charts.
Number 1. Are you ready for it? From 1983. Can you guess?
Can you guess, listeners?
It was June 25th, the week ending.
Yes. And it answers the question that I posed an hour and a half ago. Who is IRENE CARA?
Who is she? Where is she now? Okay,
the top number 1 song is Flashdance. Oh, what a feeling. Flashdance, what a feeling. This is synonymous with with the bodysuits and the leggings and all that. Yeah, Flashdance. I guess one more to get the women up on the dance floor. What do you know about this song, Jim?
It's our only number 1 song, and it was co-written by Giorgio Moroder, who is known as the father of disco. Wow. He is credited with pioneering Euro disco and electronic dance music. So that makes sense.
Yeah, disco and bringing it all together. But Jim, I have one final question.
Sure.
Is this the stuff you were listening to in 1983? Is this the stuff that you were listening to? Okay, so this is a top 10.
Except Bowie.
Okay, but this is a top 10 of pop.
Yeah.
And, maybe we're getting older here, but we weren't listening to pop. So I have before me a real top 10. This is the top 10 of 1983 that the cool people were listening to.
Interesting.
Yeah. This is from SlicingUpEyeballs.com.
Yes, I've heard of that.
Okay. And they're keeping college radio alive. That's their slogan. It might even be keeping college radio of the 80s alive. I've got a selection, and I'm pulling from 40. Good number. I'm pulling from 40 to pull top 10 of what Jim and Mike were listening to. Okay. So listeners, don't think that we were actually listening and we're actually endorsing what we were just reviewing here. All right, so here it goes. New Order, Blue Monday. Depeche Mode, Everything Counts. What's your favorite Depeche Mode song? Got another one other than Everything Counts? I know, I'm catching you off guard.
Probably People Are People.
I know, I love that song.
Yeah.
If you haven't checked out, if you just know Depeche Mode a little bit, you've got to check out People Are People. It sums up the meaning of life.
I think that's on their one of their earlier ones. I want to say it's on Black Celebration. I think that's one of their albums.
I don't remember. It might have been one before that. So The Cure,
Mm-hmm.
Love Cats. Let's Go to Bed was very popular, but it came out a year before that. Yeah, Let's Go to Bed. Talking Heads, Burning Down the House. Violent Femmes, Blister in the Sun.
Yes.
Yes.
We love the Femmes.
Yes. Our mutual friend would be our DJ, and he'd play the tunes, and he introduced us all to the Femmes. Public Image Limited with Johnny Lydon. This is not a love song. And you've got some connections to John Lydon. Maybe we'll bring it up some other time. Yeah. It's like family. It's familia. It's familia.
Yeah, familia.
Say es familia. So the Smiths. Oh, I love the Smiths. Hand in Glove. Do you know the lyric? Do you know the lyric that comes out after Hand in Glove? You know what he says?
No.
The sun shines out of our behinds.
Really?
Yeah, Hand in Glove, the sun shines out of her. So anyway, fascinating. Oh, look, there's the Police, Every Breath You Take.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to... That's number 2. Yeah, that's too far down. Aztec Camera, Oblivious, a song that is on one of my recent
I haven't
set
heard that
lists.
name in a while.
Yeah, so Oblivious was their hit, and it's so fresh, still fresh. Suicidal Tendencies, Institutionalized.
Yeah.
Our mutual friend Keith, if you're listening, shout out to Keith. He's got the song memorized. Yeah.
We'll have to get him on here.
Yeah.
We'll have to sing it.
Yeah.
First.
And all I have to say with that, before I do my last one, is I'll probably get hit by a car anyway. Thinking of You, Jim, last one I'm going to mention is Susie and the Banshees.
Mm-hmm.
And they have Dear Prudence here. And I know that song. It was a cover.
It's the Beatles.
Yeah, Beatles. But there was so much. There was a lot by Susie and the Banshees.
Mm-hmm.
And you know someone.
The Passenger.
You know someone that changed the spelling of her name for a little while.
Yeah.
Susie. Yeah, so I can't even... I just remember a lot of different songs, really some cool...
Peekaboo.
Yes, Peekaboo.
Yeah, she was interesting.
Yeah. So I just wanted to present that, Jim. I wanted to present more of a top 10 83, that we were listening to. And we could go on. We could have 100 there, right?
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff. New Wave, alternative, before alternative had a name. Just beginning to use the word alternative, I think, around that time.
So also, we have a page on Buy Me a Coffee.
Yeah.
And if anyone wants to contribute to the podcast,
can's empty.
It's at www.buymeacoffee.com/Jim and Mike Talk. You can throw us, $5, $10. I think 5 is the minimum. Buy us a coffee, a seltzer, beer, whatever.
Another water, yeah.
Yeah, if you like the show and you want to, contribute in that way.
All right, well, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Remember, turn off the TV.
And turn up the music.
Yeah.
Intro and exit music by the band 99%. Today's show was produced and edited by Jim Thatcher. Jim and Mike Talk Music is recorded at Did You Say
7
Studios in Washington, New Jersey. You can find Jim and Mike Talk Music on Apple Music, Spotify, Podbean, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
The song Basic Rock by Scott Holmes Music was used royalty-free.